What's happening, fellas?
Good?
What's going on, everybody?
Living la vida loca.
Let me turn this cool music off here.
I can't hear it.
Done? Is it off? All right, guys. Welcome everybody to the Trace Amigos Talk Show.
Howdy, James. What's up?
Sorry, guys. Echo.
Yeah, I can hear that.
Let me take care of that real quick. Is that better? It helps when you turn the YouTube channel off. All right, guys, welcome everybody. We're excited to have everybody here. We are so excited and have been looking forward to this show so much to have Dustin Bunch on, guys. If you haven't heard of Dustin, I can't wait for you to get to know him. And I'm excited to be joined every week with my good friends, Chief, the Bearded Chief and Tactical Santa. Guys, we are together. We are the Trace Amigos, guys. We just have become such close friends and have learned so much from each other. I've learned so much from these guys, and I just appreciate them so much, guys, and just learn from them every day. So if you are excited about being here, we hope you consider hitting that like and subscribe button, guys. It helps the channel out. It helps us grow the channel. But if you have any questions through any of this, guys, when we bring Dustin on, please feel free to ask. Get to know Dustin and let's help hopefully spread what he does out amongst everybody, guys. I'm really, really excited about this, guys. Chief, let us know how everything's going, sir.
Man, I can't complain one bit. I got two of my buddies here wearing those wicked cool hats, man. Look at them. Woo! Amazing. I've been chomping at the bit to get Dustin on all week, man. Like, this is like my Olympics right now. I'm like excited. What a good guy. What a great story. And feel free to ask any questions in the comments. He's an open book, he said. So bring it on. Dino, what you got, brother?
Man, no complaints here either. I'm just so happy I got my matching hat to match the good Santa. So bad Santa here, but I'm kind of new to Dustin. I don't know a lot. I'm so interested to hear his story. The little bit that I know, it's just so motivational and just awesome. I love being a part of something where we learn from people like Dustin. So it's awesome, man. I'm stoked. I can't wait to hear what he's got to say. And life doesn't get better when I'm sitting here with the Trace Amigos, you know?
Absolutely.
Santa, welcome these fine people in.
Let's do that. All right. We got Mr. Dino. I'm running through this again. Hey, Dino, appreciate you, brother. Appreciate everything you do out there, man. All the motivation. It's so nice running across your videos daily. We got Mr. James Murray of Small Town Traditions. Hey, brother. You got Lana.
That's my baby girl.
Yeah. How you doing? I'm sorry. She wore my glasses for this. Mr. Anthony. Oh, you got Mad Donkeys, who we will have on not this next week, but the week following. Looking forward to that.
Me too.
Heck yeah.
That's some of your people up there, isn't it? Aren't they from? Yeah.
He's going to be an Ohio boy when we're done.
Right. Hey, Jacob.
Hey, Jacob.
Jacob did his first live the other day, or not his first live, but a live that he kind of patterned after Chris from True North the other day. It was really good.
Good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Black Manor.
Hey, Renee.
What's up, Renee?
I love them. What are they? The Grinch slippers she had on. Those were nice.
Well, I think we're caught up there for now. I know people will be jumping on, but
all right,
you guys, unless you got anything else, we'll bring on the man himself. You got anything, Dino?
Nope.
All right, brother. Well, let's help welcome Mr. Dustin Bunch to the show.
What's
going
happening,
on,
Dustin?
Hey guys, hey everybody.
What's up?
Man, thanks for having me on. I'm stoked about this.
Really? Our little show? All right.
Yeah, I mean, any chance to sit there and get together with some bearded brothers,
Yes.
like-minded individuals,
Yes.
I'm all for it.
I love it.
Hey, finally somebody's excited to be on now.
I got the little pit bull in my lap here. I hope she doesn't bang all the equipment up here. So, but hey, you know what? You mentioned beards. This is a beard show, by the way, and we're going to talk about that beard real quick, and then we're going to get into your amazing story. And I want everybody to stick around and listen to it. But how long have you been growing that beautiful man mane?
So after the accident, the surgeon they chopped it all up. I had to start over. So it's been 5 years. But I got out of the fire department in 2011 and started Highline Power Rescue and Safety with the IBEW. And I told myself, I'm not shaving again. We're done. And which didn't really work out to my benefit. When you work under helicopters and the dirt's constantly flowing everywhere, I mean, it's just a matted mess. But I was so proud. I'm like, I don't even give a shit. It's going. We're going to be dirty and nasty, and I'll clean it 3 times a day. I didn't care. Yeah.
I ride a motorcycle, and it's always like this.
Yeah.
So I got to keep like a tie on it and stuff. But yeah,
that was me before the accident. My wife and I are both avid Harley riders, and it's like, and once we like made it, a little bit better in life, and she was like, why don't you get it like a windscreen? I'm like, no, I don't need a stereo. And I don't need none of that pussy ass shit in front of me. If it's going to go, we're going to go fast. We're going to go loud.
You're killing me. You're killing me.
Yeah. Like, it's just how it was. And yeah, then like a lot of my friends, they all got, the new Indians, the window comes up and down, and the new baggers. And I'm like, yeah, that's $50,000. I could have put that in the motor and gone faster.
I respect that. But I've been a Harley guy most of my life. And I switched to Gold Wings a couple years ago. And yeah, the stereo, all that jazz. I got it. I got reverse.
Oh man,
it's heated grips, heated seats. Yeah, you name it. The windshield goes up and down.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm spoiled. What can I say?
You're what we call bougie.
Boom.
Yeah.
I can't bust on Chief too much because one of my motorcycles, I had a Road Glide, but I got rid of the Road Glide and I went to a Road King, and I hardly ever rode with it with a windshield on it. Just something about having that wind. And here's the other thing. Like you said, if you don't have that windscreen, it keeps the beard down. You don't have to worry about it coming up on you. The Road Glide, it would smack me in the face all the time.
Yeah.
You're tucking it down into your jacket, and you're trying to ride with your chin down. You're like, I don't care.
Yep.
But
you guys on your East Coast, you got that wet snow.
Yeah, we got snow right now.
Yeah. I'll be heading up to Montana on Saturday, and it'll be snow.
Yeah. My driveway is a county road or a township road, and it's a half a mile long, and it's pretty flat, and they'll hardly ever plow it. But today there's like a 1/4 inch of snow, and they put cinders down the whole damn thing. And I'm like, why? Okay, I guess we got to waste some stuff.
They can mark it off their checklist.
I swear. But
we forgot to ask Santa Tom. Santa Tom, does your sleigh have a windshield?
No, absolutely not.
No. So you're good.
Absolutely not.
No. Do you have a radio or no?
No, I sing to myself. But I don't ride a motorcycle. I respect guys that do, because I don't know. I just never got on it. Used to ride dirt bikes when I was a kid, but I respect you guys that do, because I just don't trust myself enough. I got to have 4 wheels or 2 sleds on the ground. That's it for me.
I guarantee you there's a hot cocoa warmer in that sleigh, though.
Oh, absolutely, man.
Oh, yeah,
buddy.
Sure. So what do you use in your beard? Because like I said, this is a beard show, and we got to talk about that real quick. And then I want to get into, talking all about you.
Yeah, Chattanooga. Shout out to the boys out there. Been taking care of me for a long time, and I'm a super loyal boy. So beard balm is typically what I use because I'm always traveling and keeping it in the van. So having the oil and a toddler, and she always wants to help. So when I first got hurt and injured and broke my neck, she was always wanting to help do the beard. And you can imagine a 1-year-old, trying to train her, like you got to keep it in line. And she's parting it and wanting to put clips in it. But I'm a beard balm guy. Nothing too crazy with the scents. I'm not keep it at the church warden and Vesper. And then I was using the Pretty Penny there for a little bit, but he told me, he's like, we're going to discontinue it for a little bit while we get caught up. So I was heartbroken. I didn't keep some in the cabinet.
Yeah, you got to go buy a couple extra before he lets that one go.
Yeah. Well, I just stocked up for Black Friday. So
yeah,
the wife was like, "You really need every cent?" I'm like, "Stop it." Yeah.
Tell her not to get mad. She should come and look at any of these guys right now. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So a little about us. We're all reviewers on YouTube. Santa Tom is one of those positive mental health guys that is always putting out some kind of content, maybe a minute or 2 minutes. Dino, Tactical Santa, he's like our retro rifle, Dixon flannel, Scally cap, Nike shoes. He reviews on YouTube too. He just started, so I'm going to need everybody to go subscribe to Dino's channel, and maybe we could pin it in the comments. That'd be awesome. I'm a reviewer on YouTube for beard product, and we just get on here and talk to beard owners and love life, and that's about it from us. So let's hear about you and this awesome organization.
Definitely. Take a little sipper here. So the nonprofit's called Merica Strong. A little background on myself. I was been a firefighter. I was 19 years old when I was hired here in San Diego County. I worked for it was called CDF back then, and then it turned into Cal Fire. It's the largest fire department on the West Coast. Everything from wildland fires to municipalities. So a lot of people think that we just chase wildland fire out here all the time, but houses burn, and we run medical aids and all that kind of stuff too. And they were building the power line in the backyard, big old 500 kV back in 2010, 2011, and it was called Sunrise Power Link. And they needed extra firefighters to kind of watch when they were working to make sure stuff didn't light off. And I went out there with some buddies and did some extra work, for extra cash, and started looking at it and got really interested. And I was like, yeah, you guys are doing everything wrong. Being the cocky fireman I was, telling the linemen, and that relationship didn't ever work out too well. They would put stickers on my truck that, say even firemen need heroes. And it was a lineman climbing up on a pole. And I'm like, you bastards. Turned out, got in the industry and helped them, one of the biggest companies, Par Electric and Quanta, write their rope rescue program with another buddy of mine, Jeremy Struble, and just kind of took off and went into the safety industry on that side. And actually ended up a couple years later, when I started, there was no harnesses or anything like that. You would just step on a grappling hook and the helicopter would lift you up, and you put your leather belt around the rope and don't let go. And I'm like, well,
good advice.
I'm like, this is all wrong. In my fireman days, like, you have a safety and then you have another safety because it's life. And they're like, no, nobody questions us or anything. This is just what we do. Okay, well, shut your mouth and get to work, right? Like,
okay.
I grew up in a military family. I knew when to speak and when not to speak, or you get the back of the butter knife to the forehead. So joined the fire department. It was the same way. Cap said that I want to see you at 8, 12, and 5 unless we got a call. Other than that, you have your ass outside. I knew my place. So when I got into that industry, they asked me, can you kind of help these guys learn to climb with a harness? And there's these new hooks we have to use, and OSHA's going to be standardizing everything. And I'm like, okay, well, let's figure it out. And made some really good brothers. And it was a testament when I did get hurt. Everybody was still there for me. Those are the guys that would talk shit and, scrutinize everything we were doing on the safety side. But then at the end of the day, they knew that we wanted to help them out and make sure everybody went home safe. But so 5.5 years ago, I was out in Parker, Arizona on the river. It's right below Havasu. At that point, I was 36 years old, had a 10-month-old daughter. I worked for a company up out of Bozeman, Montana. It's called Barnard Construction, building power lines all over the West Coast, doing emergency stuff for them. Amazing company. Still working with them today. Actually, why I'm jumping on the road Saturday to head up there for the company meetings and Christmas party too. But had a company my wife and I started while working. She works full-time in the power line industry also. 36 years old, on top of the world, got a house at the river, and on the boat one night, I was 4th of July, just watched the fireworks. I was a sober driver on my brand new tri-tune boat, doing well in life, and jumped over just to cool off, and they turned the dam off that night, and the water was only 2.5, 3 feet deep. Well, I'm not a small guy, 6'6", 270 pounds, built like a brick shit house, whiskey drinking, red meat eating kind of guy. And basically, I just jumped right over like I always do to cool off and snap my neck. C5, C6 complete. Lights out. I was never lost consciousness. I just waited underwater. I had a buddy and his family on the boat. We were coming into the sandbar to let the kids turn on the underglow so they could kind of play while the other boats were going back home and clear out the river. And sat underwater, knew something was wrong. They ended up picking me up and pulling me up and, what's going on. And I kind of went through the whole motion. So I keep my C-spine, basically keep my neck in line, move my toes, couldn't feel anything from my neck down. And this was, like I said, 5.5 years ago, 4th of July. Went through the motions, kind of like trying to figure out what we were going to do. My wife was on the boat holding my 10-month-old daughter. She was like, we were almost 200 yards from the house, I'd say. So she walked through the desert, tried to go get the car, figure out what was going on. They held me underwater, called the sheriff. Well, that night, 4th of July, people are always doing stupid stuff. There was already 3 life helicopters coming for other people. So I was in line waiting in the water, and sheriff showed up and they said, this isn't going to happen. Like, we can't get you on our boat. You're too big. It's like, okay, we'll use my boat. Like, I'll show you guys what we can do. Let's make a backboard and put me on the boat. And then they had my buddy drive the boat down to where the helicopter could land. Same issues there. Hey, how are we going to get him in the helicopter? He's too big. So ended up flying me out to Phoenix. Once my wife got there, they asked my wife, they wanted to, talk to her, and they couldn't get me under anesthesia. Like, my adrenaline was going so much. I'm telling the surgeon what he needs to do to fix it. Like, let's get some zip ties and some duct tape and spit on that shit, and let's put it back together. We got to get back out there. And they went out to the waiting room and told my wife that they're like, we're not going to do the surgery because where my injury was at, and some of the pictures are actually posted on Instagram, my C5 came over the C6 and it came up. So they didn't want to put it back. They're afraid that they were just going to snap everything and bleed out or whatever was going to happen. So they told my wife, like, just say your goodbyes. Like, we're not going to do it. And she showed up to the waiting room and, left everybody at the river house with the dogs and the baby. And she's like, I got his sandals. I got his board shorts. Like, he's ready to go back. Right. And they're like, no, this is bad. Like, not going to make it. And she said, well, this is bullshit. You're going to try something. I'll sign whatever paperwork needs to be signed. Experimental surgery. Let's figure out what's going to happen. So what they ended up doing, after they got me under anesthesia, they were like, went out to the waiting room again and said, he's under the most we can give somebody, and he still won't shut the fuck up. Like, he's just telling everybody what needs to be done. And and at this point, like, I'm like, I remember talking and telling him I was being really polite on how to fix me. They grinded down the vertebrae and put it back on, put metal in there, screwed it all together, and said, you'll live in a bed for the rest of your life. Like, this is just how it's going to be. So when I woke up, she was, bedside and stuff, and had the tube in the throat, and I'm like, get the tube out. And it was one of those things where, like, well, what do you mean I can't get up and move? I can't move anything. And neck brace was on, couldn't move anything. Bunch of, drip lines and pain meds. And she said, everybody's in the waiting room. And I said, what do you mean everybody? And she was like, everybody came from all over. There's 30, 40 people out there. And I'm like, okay, like, what are we going to do? Like, how do we figure this out? And I said, well, let's get a hold of Matt Hughes, the UFC fighter. He was hit by a train last year, and his spinal cord came disattached from his brain. And I've been following his story, learning about what he's been doing and the stem cells. And obviously the budget was a little bit different that he had. And then, so everybody in the waiting room started hitting him up on Instagram and Facebook and everything, telling him the story about me. And he called in like 2 days and was like, heard about your story and you're a country boy and what's going on. And his assistant, Stephanie, at that time, like Matt was talking, but he wasn't talking as good as he is today. So he's like, well, I go down to this place called BioAccelerator, and they do stem cells, and they just started doing them in my spine for me to get movement back. Okay. Ended up, we were already over there in Phoenix. We were at the Barros Institute. Well, BioAccelerator is right there in Scottsdale. So they're an American-based company, but they have to operate out of Medellin, Colombia. They obviously, with big pharma and all the rules and all those, that kind of stuff, they're not able to do the things down there using stem cells, up here. So got a hold of them. They actually came over to the room, explained everything that they'd like to do, got on the phone with a doctor named Dr. Helper. She's still my doctor today. And she was like, come down here right now. And it's like, well, that's not going to happen. Like, insurance and I'll lose everything. And we were still trying to figure out what was going to happen. My wife ended up Airbnb in a house over in Phoenix, because at this time we had a house. We were, residents in Bozeman, Belgrade, Montana. And then we had a house for a job I was working. It was called West of Devers for Southern California Edison. And we were building a transmission line down the 10 freeway. So there was, everything going on at that time. So she was like, I just got to come out there and stay with you. We'll figure this out. And Barnard was behind us 100%, taking care of us on all that kind of stuff. But once we figured out how the stem cells work, what they thought was going to work, it was like, okay, let's get this procedures, all this done. Let's figure out how to move again at the Barros, because you're in the institute basically for 8 weeks to try to figure out everything. And at this time, I couldn't move anything from my neck down. It was just twitching. But from the time I was in the ICU all the way through the 8 weeks at the Barros Institute, like hats off to the boys, and everybody took shifts. I never slept alone. 3 to 4 hour increments. They would move all my body and work out. Like we were talking about, Chief, like if it ends in Y, there's a day to work out. And they would move all the muscles for me. Guys that, brothers I still have from high school, they would come and do a shift and stay a weekend, make sure that that way it wouldn't just, because my wife still has to work full time, and she had, Ray was only 10 months old. We had people coming out to help with the baby, like super blessed to have the brotherhood that I have and the people that I've affected in their lives where they want to help out, on that side. So once we figured out that we were going to be there for a while, figured out the stem cell game, and it was just movement. How do we move? What are we going to do? So my wife ended up selling a house in where we were at for the job, ended up buying another house because we had a 2-story house. We were just there for the job, just purchased a house. We had a place to live for 4 years. And then we go to the next power line. Montana was always going to be home, but we just went wherever the work was at for that time. So she sold the house, purchased a house all unseen with people helping out, and then moved back to California. Basically, I got out of the institute, drove back, had my daughter's 1-year-old birthday, and then duct taped myself to a plane and headed down to Medellin, Colombia. Like I said, at that point I was 6'6", 270. So some firefighter brothers, they were like, yeah, we'll go with you down to Colombia and we'll see what it's all about. And for personal reasons also, but to see the country. And basically, we jumped on a plane, went down there, got my very first injection of stem cells in my spine. And then Dr. Helper said, let's stop taking pills. And I was on 13 pills twice a day. And it was like, okay, like when I was in the ICU, I asked my wife to take me off the pain meds the second day in, just so I could see what it felt like. And that was really dumb. So by the third day, crying nonstop, my wife said, "We're going to go ahead and put you back on those medications and get it normal here. We'll figure life out." And went down there, got the treatment, and then within a matter of probably 2 months, started gaining control. I'm on my 6th treatment now, 5.5 years. When I started, everything was zip tied, ratcheted down, couldn't move anything by myself. Like I'd fall over in the back of the van. Now I can get around the property. I go elk hunting, always outside, traveling everywhere. Pretty much made it work with the stem cells. I don't take any Western medicine at all anymore. Nerve pain is minimal on that side. So I mean, they've saved my life. They basically, gave me a better quality of life with the stem cells. Getting down there as fast. 8 weeks is the fastest anybody in North America has got the treatment done. But I mean, it's just personal. Like if we could do it in the States, we'd be able to save so many lives because we'd be able to do it faster. And they're basically taking it's an umbilical cord from a baby. Nothing is done inhumane or all that stuff, that all the bullshit that they were saying, like in the lab at BioAccelerator, everything's right there. So you get to see it. It goes from lab through the window into the surgery room. Like they're just such an amazing facility that's helped so many people that I wish that we could bring it here to the States, but it's just not possible right now. Big Pharma blocks all that. But who knows? We got RFK coming in, so maybe some things could change. And but after about 4 treatments, I did, and I had to go through the COVID bullshit, sneak out of the country and still be able to get down there and fly and all that kind of stuff. Like we just never gave up on it. Kept pushing through, and to where I'm at now, like I still have, when I say no pain, yes, there's nerve pain because I'm getting more sensation back. Like I'm below nipple line level that I can feel, lower back, all these things that they said wouldn't happen, like I've been able to make happen. And our goal as a family, kind of like switch gears here, my goal was always to go back to Montana. And I was gonna raise bison and sell it to the communists in California. That was the goal. And my wife was like, and we're not going to be able to do this. This is, you're in a wheelchair. Even going back to the house we had in Montana, it's a tri-level home, and there's no good therapy in Montana as far as for a spinal cord patient. Like if you're not pushing cattle and ranching, then there's no reason to kind of be there unless, now everybody's able to work from home and all that kind of stuff. Bozeman is Bose Angeles, as we call it now. All the big, the big cities and stuff up there. But so it's like, well, I still want to figure out what I'm going to do. Like, how do I still accomplish the goal? Because still have our company, that we have. It's called Merica Consulting, and I send out fire prevention people when they're building power lines. I was the fire marshal on the border wall here in San Diego when they were building that. Try to do like any big construction projects. We try to put people on them where possibly could start wildland fires to be out there for prevention on that side. So I'm able to help on that side, but it was like, okay, I want to figure out something else. And people just started calling when I started the Instagram and showing my recovery. And then the owner of BioAccelerator, Eric's, he reached out and he was like, "What's this?" Excuse me. The process with this bison thing you want to do. And I said, well, what's worked for me is always having the dogs around me and the animals. They don't judge. People call now and they always want to, I FaceTime them. I mentor 3 to 4 families a week, basically trying to show them what they're going to get into. People all around the world. All the way to Switzerland. I've had people call, they get spinal cord injuries and want to understand like what it's going to be. And I'm more of an open book. So if we're going to talk about things, let's talk about it. We're going to talk about, your bowel program, your urine program, things that have worked and things that aren't going to work. But it's not just the people, that go through the injury. It's the people that are around them. It's a full-time job to have a caretaker and there's a burden, like it's a burden on your family. I had to, teach my daughter to crawl up my legs to give me a kiss goodnight because I couldn't pick her up anymore. I have a new son now. He's 7 months old. He's never going to see me definitely standing up. And I'm not shy to the accident that happened. So I'm not over here being that person that's like, hey, one day I'm going to walk. I hope I do. I'm part of Elon Musk's study with the Neuralink. I don't want to be number 2 or number 3. I want to be like number 100 if we do it, like on that side. But I have to get through life today. And I tell people that straight to their face, and we FaceTime. So he asked me, like, what do you want to do with this kind of thing? And I'm like, well, it's the mindset that I have is from the American bison. They always go into the storm and they always push through it. They always know 100% that the faster they get through the rainstorm, the faster they're going to be done with that shit. So when I came at Tim and said, if we could build a ranch where we could bring people out and bring not only them, but their families, because you got to separate that side. You got to let the families know what they're going to get into. But at the same time, you got to let everybody else know that, hey, this is a group effort. Like if you have a caretaker, you got to be open with the caretaker about what your needs are. But at the same time, you can't be asking for a drink every 2 fucking seconds because everybody's going to quit. Like they make adaptive tools and you can duct tape straws together for that kind of stuff. So we started talking and he said, well, let's try to build something. And it, we've had plenty of conversations the past 2 years building this thing. Where do you put a facility? When you're transporting people with disabilities, quadriplegics, paraplegics, people that are amputees, and we're not closing the door to anybody. I'll pick up the phone for anybody that needs the help. But if you could sit there and put everybody around a little herd of bison and other animals, adopted animals, rescued animals, showing them that things can happen. Like I can take a kid that doesn't want to do anything and duct tape or tape. I use this duct tape thing a lot because it holds its sperm. But put a carrot and let them feed a horse. Maybe they're going to go home and put an electric toothbrush and want to brush their teeth. Because that's where it started for me. It was, how do I do this? What is going to work? And my wife, she's such a badass. She's just like, no, you're not going to stop. You're not going to quit. Like I'm still consider myself walking in the room. I'm a sexy SOB. So it's like, I don't want to be dirty. I don't want to, have stuff on my shirt or anything like that, or all over my beard, anything like that, but I had to learn to deal with those things. I had to learn that, it's going to happen. You're going to get food on your face. I couldn't eat. And it was like one of the things when I first started, the injury, it's like, this is no, I want to eat a chicken wing by myself. And it's going to be a mess. You guys are all bearded, people, you understand, like push it out of the way and wipe it off when you're done. Enjoy what you got to eat. But as far as the Merica Strong goal and how to help people is in long term, the way it's envisioned is to build the ranch, 8 to 10 tiny homes, bring people out and show them how do things need to stretch, what worked for you, what didn't work for you. I talk to people all the time that, sometimes people are in a wheelchair way longer than me and they don't have any movement at all. But part of that is because they're not getting the workouts in. Their diet isn't on point, but nobody educated them in that hospital setting. Nobody sat down and said, hey, like this might work for A, B, and C, but if that doesn't work, you might have to go over here and go outside the realm, like to figure out what's going to work. And I mean, the human body is crazy what it can withstand, but there's no reason to, go through life in pain and misfortune. Basically, it's already happened to you. You're in a wheelchair or whatever the disability is, but everybody seems to break down a little bit more when you put them around a campfire, real life, real talk, and somebody else is kind of in that same situation. We can talk about it. We can definitely, when it's, the crying comes out and everything, everybody gets upset about their life situations and things that are going to happen. And they think they ruin their life and that nothing else is going to go forward. It's a little bit easier when you got a pygmy goat or a rescue pit bull by your side that just wants to be touched. And for me, like what I've learned so far, like I don't have sensation on my fingers. And it used to always break my heart not to be able to, you know, feel my daughter's touch. Like I don't get to feel her actual touch with my hands. Like she's got to touch my cheeks or my upper chest, you know. And when she was little, she'd always want to hold my hand as we were going down the street or something like that. So I had to learn that I had to look out of the corner of the eye to make sure I was holding her hand. Because at first it was like I was like, I can't feel your hand, baby. Like, and that was the total wrong attitude to have, because it wasn't about me so much that, you know, that she wanted to do that, you know, and she always, once we were, you know, I got more control and stuff, she would always sit on my feet on my electric wheelchair so we could just cruise around. So it made things easier. And still to this day, I mean, she's 6 and she's not a small little girl. She's super tall and always in jujitsu. So she's tough. And she always, you know, now it's like, I want to sit on the lap, and it's like, okay, like I can't see over you. You're too tall. But as far as Merica Strong, some of the biggest things that, you know, how they reach out to me and stuff, I've been just, it's been crazy. Like they just find me on Instagram and, hey, my daughter, my son, my husband's in an accident. Can we talk? And one of the main things that I do is I always want to FaceTime. Like I want to make sure that if we're talking and you're telling me you're doing these workouts and you're actually doing them, then let's do them together here, you know. And it starts with just a shrug is how I started Control, and that's what I use for everybody. And it doesn't matter if a lot of the military vets will reach out and they're stuck in the VA, and you know, I hate that place. Like I wish it, you know, hopefully it gets better for everybody. But a lot of the questions come about, you know, why don't, you know, you just focus everything towards vets? And because the money comes faster when you do that. People always want to help out the military, and so do I. But if I do that, then I would take away from people like myself that, yes, I was a firefighter. Yes, you know, helping the community. But if I just say I'm just going to help the military, it doesn't, you know, help the people that are just happen to get smoked on their motorcycle at the red light. Like I got a real good buddy I was with at the Barrows Institute, and he's an 8-1 boy. Rides with those guys, and he got smoked at the light. It was like, well, that sucks. And he had a really bad attitude when I first met him. And, you know, shout out to Jeff. Today we're still brothers. And he was just one of those people that, like, the nurses would come in and the trainers would be like, he's just an asshole. Like, you know, and he was in the room before me, so they would take his room and then come to my room. And I'm like, okay, we gotta quit this. Like, I'm tired of you girls coming in tears. And so we were in the gym one day, and I called him out, and I'm like, look, dude, like, we're all in the same shit. Like, you, and he's only a paraplegic. So like he had his upper body, and I'm like, I'm jealous. Like, at least you could sit there and, you know, move your upper body. Like, there's no reason. So it took people like him and some other guy, another guy named Sam, military vet. He actually went in. We were at the Barrows Institute. When I first started, couldn't really move anything, and I wanted extra workout time. So my buddies always take me to the gym. We were there, and Sam rolls in. I had never even seen him before, and I'm laying on my side, and he asked the trainer, her name's Melissa, and says, hey, who is that over there? And he said, oh, this is Bunch. You know, he just got here, Sam. And hey, Bunch, my name's Sam. And hey, Sam, good to meet you. And quit being a pussy and get up. I'm like, oh, we're going to be good friends, brother. We're, you know, and he, military vet his whole life, went in for a back surgery and woke up paralyzed. Yeah, I mean, you hear about I hear about all these stories all the time. And he's like, I just bought a Corvette, got my new wife. He got a wife from overseas. And he was like, she's going to leave me. She's going to put me in a home. And he was so sad. So Sam and Jeff, we'd all come in, and like all the guys that were always with me, like we never ate hospital food. The boys always went out. So I was always bringing in cheeseburgers and cheering everybody up. And it's like, okay, we're in this together, but we're only in it together if we can be honest with each other. Like when there's bad days, there's bad days. And you know, it goes down to a thing. My buddy Jason, my first caretaker, he bought me. He's like, it's all shits and giggles until somebody giggles and shits. I said, yeah, well, it's usually me. You know, not having control back there. So I've definitely learned that, you know, with Merica Strong, one of the biggest things that people you don't even notice that affects somebody is when you put an animal in their life. it just gives them, they have to take care of that animal. And even if they can't, it's still, like I said, I put a pygmy goat next to a grown ass man that can't move anymore. He's pretty happy that pygmy goat's jumping up on his lap, even if he can't touch that pygmy goat anymore. And I don't even own a fucking goat. I'm just saying, like, it's amazing what animals can do for people when they're down and they think they're out of the fight, and trying to show them, like, maybe let's feed that animal. Let's see if that works. And then let's take what you do there and let's put it to real life. Like, it took me a long time to be able to put on a shirt and take off a shirt. And not that I can fit in my closet because I'm too damn wide, but my wife can throw me the shirt and I can get it on, But showing people that it can be done is what we want to do at Merica Strong. Showing them that through all of us together, it's more or less a team effort. Being able to make it happen is kind of how it works every day. I was just talking with Kyle Kingsbury. He is a UFC fighter and got a podcast for holistical healing and stuff like that. And it is crazy the amount of people that go through misery just because they don't want to ask for help or they don't want to just talk. Like, get out of your shell. We're all going through something.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, like, it just, brush it off. And I understand, like, I was the guy that did everything by himself. I can lift the railroad tie. I can put it out there by myself. I don't need to call buddies to do all that kind of stuff. And God said, like, here, you didn't want to slow down when I asked you. So let me bonk you on the head. Like my wife told me, she's like, this is God's way of telling you to slow down. I said, well, he could have broke a fucking leg. Yeah, she said you wouldn't have listened. You would have kept going. Like I was telling you boys, like, if I was a paraplegic, I would have been back to work in 6 weeks, hanging off a helicopter somewhere, building power lines, doing whatever. The type of mentality that I have. And not that I'm not going to make it. I'll be the first, quadriplegic to long line, I'm sure. But every day it's hard. It usually always lands at the feet of my wife, unfortunately. And God rest her soul. She's a badass. We got a 7-month-old son. We were able to successfully do IVF. And I talk to people about that are in wheelchairs, and it's a hard process, but God, gave us a gift, and we're able to add to our family. And we got little Denham Knox, and he's a blessing. We had some, I talked about it on the Instagram and the Facebook, but he did like 3 months. They had to cut like a 1-inch gap through his head, take out a piece of his skull because his plates, basically his skull fused together too fast. And my wife was worried about it, and we went to the doctors, and they were like, it's normal. And then we ended up going to a specialist on our own, and they're like, you should have been here a month ago. I'm like, oh, yeah, I meet somebody in the parking lot, I'll tell you what. But adversity comes, all over the place. And, it's like they say, you ask him for patience, and he'll give you ways to be patient.
Hey, Dustin, I'm going to give you a break for just a second and let somebody ask a question here. Mad Donkey's Beard Care wants to know, how many people have you been able to help so far? Through your organization, I'm assuming.
Yeah, through the organization itself. I have 2 families this week. At a minimum, it's 1 family a week that I'll schedule for a FaceTime call. And that goes from people that are interested in getting stem cells to the quadriplegic side to the therapy side. So for the past year, we've pretty much been spot on with at least 1 family a week. But I try to, if I can do 3, I will, because I always try to slot out an hour, hour and a half. But it never ends that way. People have so many questions. And wait a second, how do you not get up and go pee in the middle of the night? And I'll go through how to use a Foley and how to use, and then I go through how to get it through the insurance, because that's just a whole new battle that people don't even understand of what they're going to have to deal with. And like, as soon as you tell the doctor you're able to, help pee by yourself, they're like, oh, you don't need that no more. It's like, you bastards. But yeah, about one family is every week, at least. I can say honestly.
How many more stem cells do you think you're going to receive and how much will that benefit you, and how long will it take if you do?
So with the stem cell side, the first treatment, what I did was I went in and they do, as for spinal cord patients, they do it every 3 months, and they'll typically it's like 100 million, and it's called intrathecal. And you guys, you can see it on my Instagram. I actually was able to post videos back in the day when I first started. Not so much anymore. What they do, they go in and they basically put the needle in your spine, like they do for women giving birth, anything like that, and they drain the spinal fluid out, and they basically estimate how much needs to be drained out and they put new stem cells where the spinal fluid would go for my type of injury. I got 4 right away, and like I said, I'm on 6. This next year will be 7. As long as I don't have to take pills every day, I'm going to keep getting stem cells because I keep getting results. Now, when I say results, this is a big, huge question that everybody always asks. Like, you're going to walk, right? And, okay, no, none of that has happened yet. Hopefully it does, but it hasn't happened yet. Now, as far as sensation, feeling, and movement, with working out and the diet, they have a nutritionist that basically the way it works is they want low inflammation. You got to think about how stem cells do work within the body. As they get in, they're going to try to fix everything. If you have a cut, they're going to try to go there first. If you ate a big old steak dinner and you're trying to digest that, they're going to fix that first. So what they want you to do is, no caffeine, no whiskey, no tequila. I know. That's the hard part. But remember this, health is wealth at that side for longevity wise. I don't wake up. I don't have the pain that people have. I don't have that, nerve pain. I don't know if anybody, you guys ever had it. It basically feels like wasps are biting your skin, like constantly biting, and you can't get rid of it. It's a pain in the ass and it hurts. But I don't take baclofen. I don't take nerve pain. I just take the stem cells, and I'll get them every year. I mean, they are pricey, but if I don't have to be in pain and I'm getting movement back, it's worth every dollar and everything I go through. And it's not a vacation going down there because anybody that's gotten them will tell you that you get flu-like symptoms, body aches, your sweats. And for me, like being a spinal cord patient, I don't sweat. Basically, I don't have body control anymore, body temperature control. I go into hypothermia super fast, and I get heat stroke super fast. And I push everything all the way to the edge. So, I mean, it's not uncommon to go elk hunting, and it's -10. I live here in Southern California. It's 113 degrees, and I got to get work done. And the people that work for me know that I'm going to be out there with them the whole time they're out there. So, and my wife will be like, "You're turning gray. You need to get some electrolytes and get inside, you dummy." And I'll pay for it, But on the side of the stem cells, I'll get them forever on that side. What it's done, and anybody that has a spinal cord person that they know, or anybody that has like disabilities, like where they have that nerve pain, knows how much they go through and uncomfortability. Like, I've talked to vets that are just ready to end it because they can't get the pain to go away, and they get one round of stem cells and it's gone.
Wow.
So, I mean, they've got cases. I have a firefighter buddy, his wife, she was 35. We got 5 kids together, early signs of MS, muscle deterioration, all the way into her shin. And they were like, "You're going to be on all these pills for the rest of your life. You have MS." She got 1 treatment, and she's back to doing yoga, doing cheer competitions with her daughter. Came back here to the States, and the doctors are like, "Oh, this is amazing. What did you do?" Like, "Didn't you read the MRIs and see what you guys could have done?" They just pump you full of meds. And I mean, there's other cases. The guys I went hunting with in Colorado, Jakey, he basically, he's got really bad MS, and he's had it since he was 19. He's 32 now, I think. It's affecting his eyesight and everything like that, and he's painful. He goes down and gets stem cells, and it's helped him immensely. He switched over to the carnivore diet, does cold plunging now, His life is 100% better. The MS isn't gone, but it's also better. The other guy we went hunting with was Dan. He had an autoimmune disease, took antibiotic, put him in a wheelchair for almost 8 years. Found bioaccelerator, went down, started getting stem cells. He changed his diet also, went to the carnivore diet. The guy was like 120 pounds. He's like 225, ripped, fucking gorgeous man. Like, beat it.
Jeez.
And there's those cases all over the place. I mean, people are going down there for everywhere from like Mike Tyson and these UFC fighters, the NFL players, to prolong their life, the aches and pains, and then other people that go in and they've never, been able to walk on their own, they leave walking. Every case is different. But it does make sense when they talk about low inflammation diet and getting all those toxins out of your body and how good you'll feel. And I mean, I live life. I mean, I still eat red meat. It's all moderation.
Excellent.
It's amazing, man.
I think this is the longest three of us have gone just concentrating and listening. This is amazing. Amazing. So the ranch is in California, you said, right?
We were looking at a ranch in California, and we've gone back and forth with this. If it was up to me, we'd move to Montana, and I'd only take the Strong. But that's not fair. We have to be not centrally located, but we have to be close to an airport.
Sure.
Where people can get around. But we have to have enough acreage. I do not feel comfortable having a bison herd. They are herd animals. We need to have 15, 20 of them, and they need to have room to do that. But it also has to be good weather. There's no sense in opening and asking for all this money to be able to only bring people seasonal. Like if I go to Montana and open it up there 3-4 months out of the year, people can come, and then it's just closed down. Doesn't make sense. So California, as much as I am not a great fan of it, the weather is good. It's good for people with disabilities. I live in Ramona. I'm about 40 minutes from the airport in San Diego. We got 4 acres. We live up in the mountains. Little town called Julian's right down the street. It's where I actually started as a firefighter, 20 years ago. It's kind of crazy. It went full circle. We'd like to have it somewhere in the area, but not opposed. If anybody has a ranch or anything like that they know we could, bison will survive, and they'll survive everywhere, but it's always good to be able to get back to the land and make sure that we can process and actually, horticulturalists come out and make sure that the bison are going to produce good grass crop and make sure they're moving. But at the same time, the bison, need to be a source of income for the nonprofit. People will pay, good money for bison. I'm not opposed, to raising a larger herd somewhere and selling off the meat, letting people hunt. I am a hunter, and I know a lot of people like frown on that. Like, how do I, respect this animal so much and then at the same time want to, feed my family with it? Well, if you look at the pros and the cons and, what it does, they're an amazing animal, and I'm all for processing the whole animal. But that's all on the table to make money and, maybe, circulate the herd. But we haven't actually been able to purchase a place. The Star Bee is a bison ranch here in Montana. We were talking to them for a little bit. They have 590 acres, 30 head of bison. It's the oldest herd there is, but it's also $8 million.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, everybody knows it doesn't matter where you guys, are at. You guys all know real estate through the roof, and you can't do anything with interest rates the way they are. So we're taking baby steps. I'm helping people mentally. When they want to call, I want to do a thing that I have here on the property around the bonfire and get an old pickup truck and tractor and put some shade in the bonfire, be able to talk to people about the mental health and trying to get over it on a smaller level, just to gain more people and let them understand how we're in it, for everybody, not just, the individual on that side of the injury. Because I do feel for the people that, have to deal with me. Like, I'm an asses and elbow guy. Like, I want to be up out of bed at 5 o'clock, get my workout in, get my work done, and then let's go get a project done. We got shit to do. Well, unfortunately, my caretaker doesn't get here till 7:30 because I have to pay for that out of pocket. And my wife, she's up at all hours of the night with the little one. And then she's like, I'm not getting your ass out of bed right now. It's not happening. Like, okay, well, I will sit here mentally preparing myself at 3:30 when you are pumping milk for the little one.
Yeah.
And she's always, I don't want to talk to you right now. I want to pump and I want to go back to bed. I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I stare at the ceiling and I got all the spots memorized. So we're good. And I'm ready to go. But understanding on that side, like, the raising the money part is always the hard part. There's so many people that, they want to help out and do things. And we're a 501c3. So we can go after big corporations that need tax write-offs. And I'm more or less on that side of the corporations. If anybody jumps on here or knows anybody that works for these companies that do donations, I want it to be a partnership. I mean, we only have 3 people on the board. It's myself, Eric, and Ken that helps out with the VA side, just because he is a veteran. So we're looking for active relationships, not just more or less wanting a dollar. Bring people in that, that have they've been through it. They understand like what it goes through to be in a wheelchair, what it goes through to, have cerebral palsy, all those type of things that you have to deal with. And let's create it where, I don't want to say the redneck lifestyle, but it's hard to work on a ranch and do those things. But at the same time, I also see what it does when we're able to talk like this and be able to put it in with animals. Animals are not judgmental.
No.
Hey, Dustin. I'm sorry, Chief. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, there's a couple questions in here.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to get to. There's the first one, Larry and Sarah are asking, but I want to ask this other one first because I think it'll lead into this second one. Jacob from Jacked Up Leather, he's a fellow Texan. He's a leather worker.
That's what I'm talking about.
Big in the bearded community. Just does a lot of help with the bearded community. His son has cerebral palsy, and I'm sorry I don't know how to pronounce this other word. I'm gonna post it up here so maybe you can see it. You might probably know it better than me.
Microcity.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he wants to know maybe where can he look and find some more information on the stem cells and
definitely. It's called the Bio Accelerator, and you could just put in Bio Accelerator stem cells. I know they're the leading one. Probably Google right away, it'll pop right up. And if you need any help on actually talking to somebody, I can get you in contact. Just hit me on the Instagram. What is it? The DMs. The DMs. Hit me in my DMs, but not those freaky girls and stuff like that. My wife won't be having that.
And that leads to the second question Larry and Sarah had. I know you were talking about the bigger donations, but do you accept donations, and where can they go? I know we're going to jump into the website. Where can they go to donate if they'd like to?
Yeah, go to Merica Strong. When you put up the website, it'll be there. You can donate directly on there. There's a page to donate, and if there's, like I said, if there's people that are interested or work for a company or own a company. Definitely hit me on an email. I put my personal phone number on the website, so I'm not shy to talk to anybody about what we want to do and how we want to do it. And I'm not even opposed to, if somebody else has a better idea and they want to jump in, it's more or less like working as a group. I am partial to doing it with Bison for the simple fact that I stand behind their mindset and how they get through everything. And how hard it is when you live in a chair or you have, something wrong that's a disability. You got to have that mindset to know every day you're going to get through. Every day isn't going to be great. And, like Seth Ferosi, my bodybuilding buddy says, it's not all rainbows and blowjobs. And I get it. Things are going to go wrong. But after, we go through that, let's put the boots back on and let's get at it. It doesn't have to ruin your whole day. Is kind of the way I tell people, like, when we talk on the phone and we FaceTime and we mentor these people, and in any way I can help out, but I'm always going to be, true to you and tell you exactly, the way it is.
Right. Well, we've got the, I'm going to just show this real quick, Dustin, if you don't mind. I'm going to turn it over to Chief, and I'm going to be quiet, turn it over to Chief and Dino, and let them ask their questions and comments. But I'm going to tell you what, one of the things as a beard product reviewer that, and Dino does other type of reviews, but Chief and I definitely, is we critique websites, beard product websites. And I'm going to tell you, this is a very, very well constructed website. It's just absolutely wonderful. Very easy to traverse. A lot of neat information in here. And I would encourage everybody to get on Merica-Strong.com and check this out. All the information you'll ever want is on there.
Yeah.
Absolutely wonderful.
I appreciate it. I am not responsible for that. I basically, Josh helped me out and build everything and donated his time, and he did amazing. He just picked the brain, and it was wonderful. And Eric Stoffers, he's right there, been in my corner the whole time and pushing. And that guy's doing amazing work. He is the founder of BioAccelerator, and he has other nonprofits where he actually helps out a lot of people getting stem cells in the veteran community quietly. And then my buddy Ken, he's on the board, helps out. And the reason he has veteran status, he served like a lot of you guys did. And it's easier to break the ice when somebody's going into the VA that, has served and been there than when I'm rolling in saying, oh, I'm a firefighter. And they're like, that's great. You have to deal with this hospital. And I'm like, no, but I'll help you burn the bitch down if you want to. Let's figure it out here. Like, but Ken's awesome. We were actually firefighters together in San Diego, and now he's out there. He's down in Florida. So he's boots on the ground and making things happen and finding donations and working with a lot of golf. He was an amateur PGA Tour guy. So like, I don't golf. So,
Me and my son go play whack-a-ball. We don't golf either.
Yeah, no.
Whack-a-ball, that's what we call it.
I was always guilty of maybe bringing Jack Daniels on the golf course. And he said, why do you need that? I said, well, chasing that ball over there where I didn't tell it to go over there. I ain't doing that shit.
We are absolutely horrible at golf, but we belly roll laughing at each other.
That's awesome.
And my son's 6'6" like you. He's a big dude. I'm 6'2".
Yeah.
And we'll hit that thing hard and don't know where it goes. But dude, you have been such an inspiration, man. I've been glued to every word you said tonight, and I've been excited for you to come on. But your wife has been behind you 110%, and you said that God slowed you down to do something, and I think that right there rung a bell with me. Your inspiration, there's people in this chat are probably glued as well, but that's inspirational what you're doing, and truly honorable to be helping out your fellow man. I'm absolutely at awe.
Yeah, it's I mean, like I said, I was 90 miles an hour. I was 36 years old. I mean, I bought, I'll give you a little background here. I was I love what I do with the power line side. I love working for Barnard. Great company. Tim Barnard, he's one owner. They're actually in business 50 years this year, and he's never lost money, and he's never had to, he's never let people go. And everything from power lines to reservoirs, dams, the border wall, like he just takes them on. Great company on that side. And then what happened was we did a job with LADWP doing a power line. I was overseeing the fire and the safety side, and LADWP came to me and said, hey, would you oversee our fire side for our personal projects? And I said, well, I work for Barnard. I'm not leaving. Like, I don't want to stay in LA. I don't want to stay in California. So I'm going back to Montana. And so then they pushed and pushed and pushed. I went to the management, and they basically said, as long as it doesn't impede with what you're doing on a daily basis for us, like, you can do what you need to do. And so we started Merica Consulting. And the same thing, Merica Strong, Merica, kind of kept it going with the same thing. But it was nights after work. My wife and I were both working for our regular jobs, and would come and bid work and make work. And we had 12 employees at the time, and pick up trucks and all this kind of stuff. And then my wife said, well, you want to buy the truck you want, why don't you go and buy it? And I said, no, I wanted an F450. I wanted a man truck. I was like, yeah, and I had the 97, or I had a 96 F350 4-door, the original OBS, and put a new motor in that. And I had a 69 4-door I was building at that time, and just trucks everywhere. I was like, I don't need nothing, just keep my collection going. So I'd look at the truck every night, like on the phone and going to bed, and like, it's $90,000. Like, I don't need. So then finally, she called and she said, all right, I booked your plane ticket. You got to be in Tucson. And then I figure you just grab the truck and then meet me at the river, and then Trav and Jen are going to be there. I'm like, you did what? And she's like, yeah, I bought and paid for everything. It's done. It's everything you wanted. It's the F450 King Ranch. And she's like, I didn't book any luggage. You're just going to take your gun and your board shorts, right? I said, yeah, that's fine. Thank you. And go and get the truck. Love the truck. I used to call it Buford from,
Buford T-Buster.
Smokey and a Bandit, because it was, she was a big bitch.
Yeah.
And when I had the, accident, she said, well, I hate to break your heart, but we're going to sell that truck to pay for your stem cells. Damn it. But she, I was just going 90 miles an hour all the time. Work. I'd come home, cook dinner for the family, go back outside, do projects. I wake up at 3:30, run 3 miles, pack my gym bag, be at the yard, come back, make sure the other jobs are running. And my wife was just like, you're here, but you're not here. You're getting everything done, but you're not here. I mean, I built a wagon on steroids for my daughter, same thing, in the garage till midnight, big old monster trucks, and get it all powder coated, get all the parts. And I'm like, I'll just build it in the kitchen, then I'll just wheel it outside. The damn thing too big to go outside. No, she was just like, you idiot. Now you got to take it all apart and build it outside again.
I did that one year. I built my son a toy box, and I didn't know anything about, home remodeling because I was like 25 at the time. And I built him a toy box because I measured the front door. It's a 36. Well, all the interior doors are what? 32.
32.
So I built this 35-inch toy box, took it all the way upstairs. And I'm like, why won't this fit through the door? So I had to do the same thing, take it apart, take it back out in the garage. Yeah. She
is truly the rock. I mean, the girl just goes. And I mean, she puts me in bed every night. She makes sure that I'm awake. We travel everywhere, even after I got hurt, like we kept the river house. And so I had a boat named Brownie that I've pretty much had with another buddy, and then had it all redone. I went on the very first run on that trip that same weekend that I broke my neck, just ran it up and down, getting the motor all in. And then when she was pregnant, she was like, I'm not riding on this boat anymore. Like, there's no swim step. It's 21 feet, typical man boat, wrap around, bench seat, like 70s porn style. There's only 10 of them made. I was living my best life on the river, right? Like, babe, it's fine. And her kidneys, and she's pregnant. She's like, oh, I'm not doing this. We're buying another boat. And she's like, why don't you get a pontoon? And I'm like, because I'm not 50.
Right.
Right. Like, give me a big old deck boat with a blower on it and making a loud noise.
Yeah.
She's like, whatever you got to do, you better find it by January, or I'm buying a boat, because I'm not going back on that being pregnant, because we didn't have a step or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like she's like, I got to roll in like a beached whale being pregnant. And so, yeah, I ended up buying the big boat. And at the house, we couldn't make the turn with the 450. Couldn't make it with her Tahoe because the new Tri-Tune is 32 feet long, and there was a retaining wall in front. So here I am, big old fucking meathead. I'll push it out by hand, babe. It's okay. Well, at the river, it's 112 degrees and shirts off. And in the wintertime, all the Canadians come down and they park the trailers, and they'd all sit out there watching. Like, Bunch, you need some help? Yeah, that's what I need, is you to have an aneurysm. You're trying to push this boat. And so then I was like, we need to get something. And she was like, why don't you buy one of those like pushers that they use at the airport to move boats and stuff around? And I'm like, well, that's not cool. Here we go again. So I buy a Suzuki Samurai, like put the hitch on the front, Like, oh yeah, here we go. Well, I buy one that's made for like off-road, and the guy already like welded the rear end. So the rear end's already just straight posi. It's all
That's great.
I love that.
Definitely blessed to have her as my rock to be like, you're an idiot. No, we're not doing that.
Love it.
And now I'm in the wheelchair, and I'm like, well, this is how it's going to work. She's like, well, you're not doing it, so we're not doing it that way. I'm like, well, this is
Okay.
humble city, but I mean,
She got some cojones.
Yeah, she runs it, like out there getting the tractor work done, out there running the water trucks. And when we bought this place, and it had to be completely revamped, same thing, couldn't get through doorways, and rebuilt shower, and it was going into foreclosure. They actually had a soccer field on the property, like cut down all the trees and built a soccer field, Southern California. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, all this shit's got to go. Like, she's out there doing it, running the backhoe, and she's like, just show me how to use it, and then I'll see if it'll work. And I'm like,
Okay.
yeah, she did it. She dug up the septic tank and found it, and I'm like, all right, well, we're doing okay. Like,
I like it.
yeah. So we keep it redneck here.
I like it. Hey, I watched you hunting for elk, and you were talking to, I think, your daughter on the phone. Did you end up getting an elk that day?
So, I mean, no, the video will be released and everything in January, but everybody tagged out except me, which is fine, because we went there just for the purpose of I want to do it every year. Take some people to Colorado, take some people to Montana. Everybody has to pay for their tickets and stuff, but I got some really good buddies that want to help out, and they're going around asking ranchers if we could hunt on their property. Not trying to get trophy bulls. I did get a bull 2 years ago up with my buddies up in Bozeman, Montana. And it was a hoot. Like, I mean, God kissed the bullet too at 550 yards. And I don't know if you guys ever hunted with a quadriplegic, but they don't have much like stability. So they're trying to position the van back and forth, and elk don't move slow. So they get up and move. And it was a really, really good time to get those guys out there. And the guy Dan, he came all the way from Florida, never killed anything in his life, never hunted at all. And then Jakey was the guy. He's got the guy that's got MS really bad. And it was his family friends that let us stay at their place, the Bird family. And shout out to them, amazing people, lifelong friends now. Hopefully we get to do it every year and take new people out to go hunting, and just let them see that life can go on. And it's going to be great. I mean, it's one of those things where it's hard and it does suck, but it's great times. And me, I look forward to it. Like, I embrace the suck. I know it's going to be cold. It's going to be miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah. My daughter, she, every day it's a phone call. Did you get it? Can I see the blood? Can I see it? and then like when we mounted my elk here in the house, and we'll be eating elk meat or something, and she'd be like, "It's the one on the wall, huh, Daddy?" I'm like, "Yeah, it is." Yeah, it was awesome, and Brendan did a great job. He's my caretaker now at shooting the video and stuff, and it's going to be good to be able to show people that it can go on. And there's a lot of people that have been reaching out to be vendors to kind of help and stuff like that, and trying to get old Wilson Combat on to help us out. And I'll have to talk to, Tactical Dino. Like, that was the first, my gun at 6.5 Creedmoor, and I'm having second thoughts. I think I'm going to switch over to the 338, but I used to shoot 300 Win with Christensen arms.
Yeah.
But I'm not able to rechamber around. And I know you're only supposed to shoot once, but anybody that's been hunting in the Rockies understands that's a big animal. And
it is.
If you don't get it down on that first one, you want to be able to rechamber, and I wasn't able to do it. So this was the first year switching over to an AR-10 platform, but definitely understanding on that side, a lot more people in my condition are going to have to use the same thing. So I want to be able to provide, like, I have a tactical wheelchair, basically it's on tracks and everything. So we'll provide that for everybody else, and it stands to be able to go in and out. And it's just one of those things. getting people outside, letting them see and sitting around a campfire and talking about stories. And like I said, I can't, thank the Bird family enough. Joe Bird and his wife, like they cooked meals and made things happen. And it was his first time. He's a bow hunter. And in the area there, we went to Bedrock, Colorado. They have a good, healthy herd that's always there. And he's like, I don't even do this rifle hunting bunch. Like, I don't know. Like, he's like, you got a buggy here. And he was, talking about my van. It's like, how do we figure this out? And the first time, like, he was like, man, this is hard. Because he'd get in a ditch and we'd be sideways and I'd be laid over. Like, Joe Bird, this ain't going to work. He's like, oh, shit, Bunch, I'm sorry. And he's in his binos and he's like, look, they're the elk, Bunch, there they are. I'm like, well, that's great because the door still needs to come open. You need to take it off as safety. And he was like, oh, shit. I didn't even think about this. Like, but then once the valley kind of heard what was going on, we were all chasing elk and trying to do it. And people are there paying big money to hunt on private land. And the Bird family went around to all the ranchers and told them, this is what's going on. We're not out here horn hunting. We're not out here trying to put trophies on the wall. We're just trying to put meat in the freezer to feed these families. And they were like, yeah, it's not a problem. Like, use the property, take care of it. Make sure you close the fences. Make sure our cattle can't get out. Being respectful of the land and stuff like that. And it was a hoot. And I can't wait for everybody to see the video and kind of see everything. There were some guys from Texas down there. They come up to go hunting, and they were in their side-by-sides and coming by, and they're like, this is your setup? And I'm like, we're just redneck rich here, man. Like, I got a little Ford Transit, and we made it happen. There was so much traffic getting there. It was 23 hours straight to get there.
Oof.
Something that should have been like a 12-hour drive. Got there, made it happen, and the boys filled the freezer. We made good memories and good times, and now we'll be able to post it. And a bunch of buddies up in Montana reached out, and my buddy Russ Nolan, he's looking for some ranching stuff up there, and he's like, we'll make it happen. We'll get some people out here, and it's just good when you get like-minded people together, and maybe we'll get you guys out there. Jump on a plane and come out to the the Northwest and freeze your beard off for a little bit. We'll get you on some elk.
Heck yeah.
Dude, it's on my bucket list now to come and hang out with you.
Yeah. We're gonna make it happen. And the crazy part is when we just posted the very first video, it was like 68 DMs. Where are you? Where are you hunting? Can I come? How did you do it? Is it free? And it's like, okay, boys. but that's where it all starts, is the communication side and being able to post it and show it. If we can do that with Merica, it's going to be big, and it'll be good and open up people's eyes that it doesn't have to end just because, I got no feeling in them, but they work.
Man, I got to tell you, man, just listening to you is so awesome, man. You are so inspirational. I got to tell you, like, all of us are on the same program. Like, dude, you're so funny, man. And just your sense of humor and like what you like seeing that you're a hot rod guy, hot rod with the boats, red meat eating. Also, dude, we're all the same brothers. You know what I mean? All the same. That's just so awesome, But I have a question for you. We've talked about all those personalities. What kind of music do you like?
I'm a country boy, but
country boy?
I'm an equal opportunist now. So,
Gotcha.
I was born in Ohio, and then we came out to the West Coast and stuff, and then we went back to Ohio in middle school. So I was like Circleville, like south of Columbus, and then in Jackson Center. So I grew up around Amish, being country, and then in the 7th grade, my dad was like, "We're going back to California for work." I'm like, "Oh, why?" Like, I'm good. I got a 3-wheeler. I got a dog. I got a 22.
What do you need?
Right.
Yeah. I was good. Play it quiet.
Guys, you know what? I completely forgot about the this or that questions.
Right.
We're going to wrap up here in about 10 or 15 minutes. I completely forgot this or that. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. This is going to be like Christmas, this or that. Okay. Pecan pie or pumpkin pie?
Pumpkin pie. I told you, Circleville. It's the largest pumpkin festival in the world.
Okay, I'll give that to you. All right, real tree or artificial tree?
Real tree. A fucking American.
Black Friday shopping or online shopping?
Online.
I respect that wholeheartedly. Okay, host dinner or be a guest?
Host.
Cool. Us too. Present or gift card?
Present. It's gotta mean something.
Yeah.
That's right.
Snow or no snow on Christmas?
Snow.
Absolutely. Handmade gift or store bought?
I'm more partial to the handmade, depending on what the budget is.
Right. Like if it's from your kids, absolutely.
Right.
Game night after dinner or take a nap?
No, game night.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And most of the time it's going to be outside. We're playing tag or hide and seek.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, not in Ohio. It's pretty damn cold, so we'll play some kind of board game or something with the family.
Yeah.
Connect Four, things like that. Yeah. And that was it. I was sitting here looking, and I didn't even look at my list the entire time you were talking. And I was like, oh, no, forgot my questions. So.
Hey, Chief, real quick before Dino talks, Flaming Beard, and I can answer this one for you, Flaming Beard. He doesn't understand what pecan is. That's how they say that up north. I know down here we say pecan, but you just got to excuse, Chief. We let them make these mistakes every now and then.
Pecan.
Is it creek or crick?
Oh my goodness. Dino, why don't you ask him that one question real quick?
Sure. So if you could see any music artist, alive or dead, which artist would you want to go see?
I am fighting at the bit to see an artist called Frank Foster. Got married to his music. And then I was actually supposed to see a concert, and I was in the hospital, and they got him a Bunch Strong bracelet, and him and the band, everybody's been wearing it on stage. And he's an independent artist, country and kind of Southern rock. But Frank Foster, yeah, you guys check him out. He's good.
Does he kind of have that new breed vibe?
No. He's like old school Hank.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He was an oil roughneck, and then been an independent artist ever since.
Nice.
Just rocking and rolling, but
Nice.
good old boy. I've been trying to get out and see him, and he does a cruise out of Mexico. They go out and does a cruise trip, but it's hard, when you're in my state. So it's like a lot of my buddies, they'll go and they actually go back to Nashville and see him play and stuff. But it's on the bucket list to see him.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, tag him on here. Make sure he knows. He was in Vegas. He did a private show last year. And I'm like, hey, can I go? I'll be a quiet quadriplegic in the corner.
We have definitely got to have him come on our Monday night show. If he's ever got time, you got to come on, man.
All right.
Yeah, you got to come on in. One thing I'd like to say is if I ever had the opportunity to hang out with you and go hunting, dude, count me in. I'll be there, man. You're such an inspiration. Like, just talking to you, I'm glad to be able to call you a brother now, man. Nothing but love for you and your story and your inspiration, man.
Definitely.
Keep on doing what you're doing. This country needs more people like you. It really does.
I
Such an inspiration to everybody. Yeah, keep on doing what you're doing, brother.
That's the goal, and I'm glad you guys. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah.
Well, our show's not a big show yet. We have only had about 8 or 10 episodes so far, and it's gaining traction. We're getting better at it, I think. But
yeah,
any time we can get the word out for something like this,
right,
even if it's small on our little channel, man, we're glad to do so. And big inspiration to me as a veteran, and so is Santa Tom. Big inspiration, helping others, man. That's incredible. You could have easily just, tucked your tail and called it a day, but you were a man. You stood up and did what you need to do, and you love your brothers.
Yeah. it's definitely one of those things my wife and I always talk about every night, and we're blessed and be surrounded by good people and have a good family. But I want to give back, and I want to show everybody that that's struggling out there that it can go on, and it's just an honest conversation and maybe a campfire.
Yeah. This guy here, Steve Anderson, Navy diver, retired. He's like bionic, man. He's got like multiple joints or what is it, tungsten or titanium or some crazy shit. He's like he's hardcore metal all over him. The Navy was not kind to his bones. Made some great lemonade. There's Renee. Good to see you, Renee.
Yeah.
Man, what a fantastic story. And we got to have you back again. And like Dino said, Dino and I get together on Monday and we just talk about anything. It doesn't have to be, beard related, cause related. We just jump on here one Monday night with me and Dino, and we'll just ramble about coyote hunt or 6'5" Creedmoor or
Right.
Yeah. The boys up in Montana, they got some setups with some night vision that I'm like, I can buy a new truck, but you guys are out here going after coyotes that are almost at a half mile.
Yeah, but their scope's $12,000.
Yeah, they have different incomes, that's for sure.
Little. I mean, the wife would never say no, but I'm never going to even ask for a $12,000 scope.
That's lotto stuff. That's when you need that tax write-off. You put it in your LLC or something. But no, I'm not there. Like my buddies, they have it goes from their scope on their gun to their helmet. And I'm like, you're out here in the middle of the field. I don't understand. But we won't talk about tax relief and all that kind of stuff that they got. So.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to stay in touch with you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I appreciate it, boys. I mean, I would love to jump on with you guys here, but probably after the holidays and stuff.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys having me on here. And I mean, I hope it can sit there and affect some people's lives. And like I said, I'm an open book. Find me on the Instagram. The Facebook's starting to, get some traction, but I'm going to, Merica Strong, we're going to change everything in January where I'll have Merica Strong Instagram, Facebook, and then I want to do the YouTube stuff. More and more people want to understand like day-to-day life. And I'm going to try to make more content to show people how I do it. Unfiltered, of course.
As it should be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so a lot of this stuff, I was, saying it and, like I said, I always slip up, and mom actually called and got information for her daughter and stuff. And like, Bunch, can you, I let them watch the videos that you guys post on Instagram of your daily stuff, but I have to turn it off at the end because I'm always waiting for you to say, kick it in the dick. And, we're a Christian family. And I'm like, I am too. I'll try to, filter it and do what I can. But I said a lot of it just comes from the heart, who I am. And, I'm an event, and I don't have a great editing thing, when my dick skinners don't really work so well.
Right. I don't edit either, man. Say the top, he's rolling.
You on your site, do you have merchandise people can buy? Like I know you mentioned do you have Bunch Strong bracelets and stuff like that available, or
no, that was when I first got hurt.
Okay.
The job sites and stuff made them for me. What I want to do on the Merica Strong is work with a company. I don't know the name, but people have been asking if they could buy Merica Strong stuff, and it'll go to the donation site. Just trying to get some designs and figure out what financial side it's going to cost.
Yeah.
On that side where people are able to do it, because I would love to be able to, do a cool bison like this and have it say Merica Strong and established or something, and that money go towards it. And if anybody has a connection on that, please let me know. I'm open.
Right.
Oh, the beard community will definitely help you with that.
Yep.
Yeah. I'd be all about it.
Every company's got merch, stickers, you name it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Get in touch with any three of us anytime. We'll definitely get an answer for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Let's make it happen.
Absolutely, man.
Right.
Well, guys, we're going to get close to wrapping up. We have a personal friend of ours that's going to be on the Bearded Respect tonight at 9:00. And that is Matt Hill, the owner of Florida Boys Grooming. And they've been trying to get that man on for a couple years now, and they finally got his ass. So everybody in the chats, if you can jump on over at 9 o'clock to the Bearded Respect and check him out, that would be awesome. Dustin, man, I think this is probably one of the best shows and the most inspiration and the most positivity. I feel great, man. And you're a wonderful person, and I highly respect you. And I actually told Santa Tom a while ago, I said, please go reach out to Dustin, get him on the show, please. And, and he did. And I'm so very glad that Santa Tom and you got hooked up, and this spot came available tonight. So everything worked out, and what an inspiration. Thank you for being on the show, brother.
Of course. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it so much.
Absolutely. And I'm going to leave it with this, guys. You know, Dustin, one of the things, Dino cracks me up with his hearts. One of the things I raised my 4 kids, you know, up, they're grown now. I've got grandkids, but one of the things I raised them, and I know it's kind of cliche, but it's always something I believed in my heart and still do to this day. And that is, don't ever think you're going through something rough, because there's always somebody going through something a lot rougher. But what I love to see is the person that's going through the rougher has an attitude like you got and just doesn't give up. There is no quit. And man, it gives me chills sitting here just listening to you, talking to you, and getting to know you. We appreciate you, brother. And I want to let everybody know out there that this world could use a little kindness. So be kind to one another. And as always, keep Christmas in your heart year round.
That's right.
Have a good night, guys.